And hello to our Facebook viewers this evening on Bass Lake. And as we talk, we'll be sharing the Bass Lake broadcast, which will pop up in a couple of seconds to the Radio Today page. So if you're a Radio Today regular on our Facebook page, pop along to Radio Today's Facebook page right now. I'm about to share it. So as soon as I see that we're on air and we're streaming via the Bass Lake page, then we will just send that and share that video through. So can you see anything popping up yet, Greg? We're all watching our phones frantically to see if we can
not yet.
see the live broadcast. We are pushing through somewhere. I'm hoping I've pressed the right buttons and we've gone through Bass Lake. We're a couple of seconds in now, and we should have by now streamed through Bass Lake. And I'm just looking to see if I have made a mistake. So it's possible I have, or it's possible we've got a technology problem this evening. Oh, hold on, I was looking at Bass Lake Country Lodge, which is not it. We may have gone the wrong way. So give me a second, we'll find it. The joys of live radio and linking about 5 different platforms together. We've got it, right. So we're on air, and if you're listening to Radio Today right now and you'd like to watch this, then as we speak, I'm sharing the live broadcast to the Radio Today page. You can go along to the Dive Time page on Johannesburg and look at the broadcast there. And if you're joining us from Bass Lake, on Bass Lake's page at the moment, welcome to you. Good to have you on board. Please share this with your friends. If you know people who love diving as much as you do, tag them in a comment or say hello via the comment section below the broadcast. And as people join us, and there are more and more joining us as we speak, welcome to Dive Time show number 3. So what are we starting with tonight, Greg?
Well, we're going to start with the international dive destination. And we're going to look at Perhentian Islands in Malaysia.
Okay.
So again, another island not that well known to us South Africans, but actually a phenomenal dive destination. It's not too difficult to get to, and it's a pretty well-priced destination.
As you join us on Radio Today, good evening. This is the Scuba Diving Show, Dive Time. We're on till 8 o'clock this evening. You can join us via DSTV, via the medium wave transmitter, or our audio stream on Tune app, and you can join us at the table, at the studio table, by popping along to Dive Time site, Radio Today Johannesburg site, or Bass Lake Adventures site. And we're streaming live on that now. Okay, so we kick off. Tonya says, looking good, guys. Courtney's joined us. Dave and Davis, Hannibal is on board. Dave Ravenstone and others will join us as we say good evening to the diving fraternity. Shall we go?
Let's do it.
Let's get this show on the road, as they say. And the Classics, our world destination today is Perhentian Islands.
Perhentian Islands, yeah.
How do you get there?
Okay.
First question.
So, Perhentian Islands is an island right up top of Malaysia on the east coast. It is, you're either going to get there from Thailand or you're going to get there from Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia. I've done it both ways. I've flown into the nearest town, Kuala Besut, and then taken a taxi and then a speedboat over to the island. Or I've done it from Kuala Lumpur, where I've taken an overnight train, where you sleep on the train and you run overnight and you're there in the morning. So the island is a 30-minute speedboat ride off Kuala Besut. And it's the Perhentian Islands, what makes it so amazing to visit is it's actually 2 islands. And I stayed on Kessel. I worked on Kessel for a while. And it really is, it's a very small island. No cars, no roads, not even walkways. It's,
oh wow!
It's literally.
Is it unspoiled?
Tom, I'd like to say it's unspoiled, but I'd say no. There's a lot of pollution and stuff that the island's closed for 6 months of the year, and so it acts as a filter. So we get on the island and you do a big cleanup and you do a secondary cleanup, and then it's pretty much unspoiled. Kessel is kind of like a backpackers island, so it's a lot of youngsters. It's a very cost-effective way to stay on a tropical island. If you want to be on an island where there's no 7-Eleven, there's no McDonald's, there literally is 1 or 2 little convenience stores, a number of accommodation, and a few dive stores, and that's it. The main beach is 1 kilometer long. Then you can do about a 5 to 10 minute walk through the jungle to get to the beach on the other side, and that's not even 700 meters long. So it truly is a small island. But what happens is when you land there, that's it. You know, you have a beach, you have a few restaurants, you have a few dive centers, and that is it. But it is crystal clear water. It's what you see in the pictures, in the movies.
What does it cost? Is it an expensive trip?
No, well, unfortunately, we don't fly direct. Air Malaysia stopped the direct flight, so you'll have to go through Singapore Airlines or go through Bangkok or Phuket. So it depends how you get in. If you're backpacking, you can use buses, trains, anything. But if you're flying in, those flights are relatively cheap. I think to fly into Kuala Lumpur and then up to Kuala Lumpur, it's not too expensive. And then from there, it's cheap. The accommodation really in rand terms is cheap. For $300 a night, $400 a night, you'll get an air-conditioned room.
Is this a popular spot with South African divers?
Not at all.
Not?
No, I don't think I've seen another. In the time I've been on that island, I've probably spent 2 to 3 months collectively on the island. I don't recall meeting any South Africans. Because it's in a strange part of Malaysia, it's very much overlooked. You know, you've got the west coast, you've got Langkawi, you've got Penang Islands, which are more well known. And off the east side, you've got Redang, Tiaman, and then right up north, you've got Perhentians.
So you recommend it? You recommend Perhentian Islands?
Oh, absolutely.
Should be on the bucket list.
Tom, you know, a lot of people. I love Thailand and I love Phuket, but a lot of people go there and come back and go, man, that was busy. That was like Thailand on steroids.
Crazy.
So if you want that holiday where you want to be alone, you know, secluded on an island, Perhentians is it. Not only is the beach on it absolutely beautiful, but the corals and the reefs around it are phenomenal. And so if you want to dive, I mean, diving is cheap there. You know, it's very short boat rides out to each reef. So if you want to have a diving holiday, you want to get 10 or so dives in, it becomes very viable when it comes to what's affordable for us to go to.
Okay. And that's the voice, if you're listening to the radio, of my brother, Paddy Dive Master Greg Holmes, and you're listening to the Dive Time Show. If you're a scuba diver and passionate about scuba diving, then you've found a home. You've found it on the radio and Facebook. Just look for us on Dive Time. Check out Dive Time on Facebook. And let's say hello to some of the people who are joining us. Tanya Curry says, looking good, guys. And I'm sure some people are saying looking good when they're speaking about Courtney, who we'll introduce in just a moment. Tanya says looking good. Sadwana Bay classifieds, I'm not sure what that means. Take me back to the deep blue, less people, more fish. Do scuba divers prefer to be underwater than in society? Is that?
That's a yes and a no. Okay. Because diving is a sport, but there's also a massive lifestyle around it.
Okay.
You know, it takes you to beautiful places. You meet a lot of people. So the social aspect of diving is almost as great as the dives themselves.
Cool. We say hello to Monet Christou from Dan, Southern Africa.
Hey,
we had a fantastic
Monet.
time with Monet in the studio last week. And we hope that we get Monet and Dan on board to be part of this journey that Dive Time is going to take through the years, and that they're a partner of ours. That's what we're hoping for. And we just had so much fun with Dan last week. If you haven't seen the program, scroll back on the page, on the Dive Time page or the Radio Today page, and you'll find last week's program where we spoke about Dan, Southern Africa. We'd also like to say hello to the gent that we spoke to today.
Yes.
No. Steve.
Well, up yet. Steve from Scuba
Steve
Pro.
from Scuba Pro. We had a fantastic conversation with Steve from Scuba Pro today. We canvassed in the various players in the dive industry asking for advice, and Steve gave us some wonderful advice. We'll be meeting other suppliers and other wholesalers as we go along.
Yeah, it's great.
We just want to say hello to them.
The advice is keep going. You know, keep doing this.
So everyone said keep going, and don't be shy.
Yeah.
So who else have we got? We got Courtney, we got Stacey, we got my mom is watching. I don't know if she's ever been underwater, but one of these days we may just chuck some fins on her and see how she does. Dave Ravenstone says, good evening everybody. Sharon Davis Hannibal says, good evening. Yaku Swanepoel says, hey there Tom, Greg and Courtney, great to see you guys this week. Who else have we got on board? We've got Sharon Davis Hannibal says, love this program. So we got the family in first and the friends, and then slowly we grow the Dive Time family. Good evening to you as you join us, either on the radio or Facebook Live. And really, don't be shy. Pop your comments and your questions into the comment section. Let me introduce Courtney to you, who is one half of the Courtney and Dagan team. And Courtney, I have known since birth. I was literally there when she was born, and she came out with the extension cable wrapped around her neck, so I didn't think she'd ever survive, but she has, and look at her now. And now she's a young adult and scuba diver and instructor. Is that what about?
No,
what
not
are you
an
doing?
instructor yet,
Yeah.
but in the near future.
Okay,
Definitely.
so that's what you're working towards.
Yes.
And you kind of represent the millennials and the young divers.
Yep, we need to get some more of our friends, some of our young divers to join us.
Okay, and not only you, and I said part of the Courtney and Dagan team, we're talking about Dagan, who's sitting next to me, so he has to just pop along into the shot. And there we go, Dagan. You want to shout hello to your mom because she's watching?
Hey, Mom.
There we go. And he's a good guy. The more you see Dagan, the more you're going to get to like him, and there'll be more of Courtney and Dagan as we go along. Oh, in fact, I did make a little title for you, so if you lean back in the screen, it will be there over your title.
Hey, Mom.
And so that's Dagan, and Dagan and Courtney go out and do shop attacks and visit people in the industry. What's up next?
Well, we're going to look at local destinations. So
Oh, we got a shop attack on the board.
Yeah, we stayed in Johannesburg. The rain kept us in this week, so we went out. I'll let Courtney.
Yeah, tell us about it. What did you do?
Yeah, well, we went to Urban Dive, we met Steve, and we had an absolute blast there.
We met Dave.
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 Who's Steve?
Scuba Pro.
Scuba Pro.
Steve,
Alright.
we just spoke about
Well,
Steve.
we hire her for her looks. Let's be honest. Although she is studying a BSc this year. I hope you get it right, eh? Uncle Tommy. That's what you'd normally say.
Yeah.
Eh?
Well,
All
I'll
right.
call you another name.
Okay, so who are we going to see? Dave, eh?
David
Dave.
opened up.
All right,
David
here we go.
Urban Dive.
Off to David Urban Dive we go.
Welcome to Shop Attack. We're here at Urban Dive with the owner, Dave. Will you tell us a little bit more about your centre?
Yeah, Urban Dive's been around since 2009. We're a 5-star PADI IDC centre. We do quite a bit of training. We're very active promoting courses and doing courses. We're training every weekend. We also host scuba parties, and we're probably the only dive centre in the country with 2 swimming pools.
2 heated pools.
2 heated swimming pools.
Okay, Dave, so I'm guessing that our customers want to know, why do we have 2 heated pools?
Well, it's pretty obvious. The first pool we got is our actual dive pool that goes down to 3 meters. The other pool is quite a bit shallower. It's only about 1.5 meters, and that's solely for swim training. So technically, we've just opened up a swim school as well.
So you're a diving school. Can you
Yes.
just why do you teach swimming here?
Well, it's happened quite a lot in the past where we've actually had a few clients that come in, they've said to us, we'd love to learn how to scuba, but we can't swim. So what we decided to do was to kind of let the one feed off the other. So a lot of our swim clients now end up coming over and starting to convert into scuba diving.
Yeah,
That's very clear.
okay, so you said you're active every weekend. Can you tell us a bit more about the plans that you have for the soon future, such as travel?
Yeah, travel. We're very active with our travel. In actual fact, we're packing to go to Sodwana as we speak. So we're off next weekend, and we plan to hit the beach or put our feet in the beach sand every 2 months. So we got another trip planned for Sodwana Bay. We're going to Rocktail Bay twice. We're going to Aliwal Shoal once. We're going to Protea Banks twice. And then, of course, our legendary year-end trip to Ponta.
Ponta is my favorite.
Internationally wise, we're off to Madagascar, and that's in July.
So I know where Urban Dive is and how to get in contact with you, but how does everyone else in Joburg or outside get in contact with Urban Dive?
Well, you can get hold of us via our website, www.urbandive.co.za. You can pop me an email at or cresta@urbandive.co.za, or you can simply pop past on Basil Deer. We're pretty much one of 2 dive centres, and you've got a 50-50 chance of hitting us.
Okay, so who can come diving, and what do we need to bring if we want to come diving?
Well, I think anybody can dive. Anybody that's in reasonably good health. PADI starts in training at 8. That's only for the swimming pool though. Once they get to 10, then we can get them ready for the sea. What the first thing you need to do is actually phone us to make a booking. Okay, so we can make sure that we have space available. Pop on through with your swimming costume. I've got all the equipment, so we can just pop straight into the pool and give it a good test.
Awesome. So everything's provided,
We have everything.
Wow. So if you need to come diving or you want to come diving, you know you can visit Urban Dive here on Bayers Nadia.
Thanks to Dave from Urban Dive for that fantastic interview. Well done, Courtney. You're quite good, eh? No training in the broadcast space, and there you are interviewing the leaders of the industry. Well done. Do you enjoy it?
I do. It's actually a lot of fun. More about getting to meet everybody and being a part of the industry.
Good. Well, we're meeting people on Facebook tonight on the Facebook page. If you're listening to Radio Today, you can tune over to Facebook. Just go to the Radio Today Facebook page and you'll find the live broadcast there. Jump into the comment section and join us and have some fun with the conversation. I see we've got Caden Bussarello on board saying, "What's up?" Tonya wants us to take her to the beach, and more people are joining and getting involved in Dive Time. It's good to see you with us this evening. If you're joining us on Facebook Live, you've literally got a seat at the broadcast table at Radio Today. And if you're listening on the radio, well, thank you for your continued support and patronage of Radio Today as we grow from strength to strength. This little radio station is getting bigger and bigger by the day, and it's nice to see. Okay, next up on Dive Time, we move away from local destinations and talk about in my experience, and we go back into your experience now, Greg.
Yeah, well, this actually fits also into the eco side.
Okay.
And last week we spoke about sharks and the perils that they're in. And just as in just as bad a state are our sea turtles. So there are 7 species of sea turtle around the world, and we've got 5 of them off our coast.
Okay.
So leatherback turtle, loggerhead turtle, hawksbill turtle, green turtle, and the olive ridley. So these are all turtles that you can see on a dive, and we do quite often. I think Courtney and Dagan had some great dives in December and January with some turtles.
Did you see off the coast?
Yes, we
What did
were
you see?
in Umkomaas, so we're diving Aliwal Shoal. We saw some green turtles and some hawksbills, and they were absolutely beautiful.
Right, so what we're going to talk a little bit about turtles is they are all endangered. I think every single one of them is endangered, some of them critically endangered. And there are a lot of perils, a lot against them, stacked against them. We often see turtles, apart from that have been bitten by something and half eaten by something. You know, you've got turtles that get caught in boat propellers, and that causes a lot of damage. The shells are hard, but not that hard.
Yeah.
Plastic and pollution and stuff in the ocean. They get caught in nets. They get, a turtle has to come up to the surface to breathe. So they sleep at night. Within every hour they've got to come up for a breath of air. So like me, they have very restless nights. So they need air. So if they get entangled in something, that's
the end of it.
That's it. Yeah. And then there's poaching, and not only poaching of the turtles themselves for their shells and stuff like that to get sold to tourists, but their eggs. Again, in the East, turtle eggs are used to make a soup, again, back to Perhentians, that was an island that the green turtles used to come up on the beach at night and lay their eggs, and we would watch them and from a distance, and then the next morning you go there and those eggs have been dug up. And,
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's been sold in the restaurants and so on, and it's really sad when you get students that arrive on the next morning and say, "Hey, we had turtle egg soup last night."
Oh no.
Yeah, and then fine, I'll drown you in about 5 minutes from now.
The Buddhist comes out.
Yeah. So it's a tough life for them. Something that I think Courtney did a couple of years ago. You went and saw turtles hatching on the beach of St. Lucia or Sudwana Bay, somewhere around there. So turtles will lay eggs in spring or summertime. They'll come up onto the beach in high tide and at night. So they know it's high tide. They know it's a less amount of turtling they've got to do up the beach to lay the eggs. And they can lay 100 to 200 eggs at a time.
Wow.
120 pretty much. And then about 2 months later they'll hatch. And then that's the spectacle you see on TV where you get these little turtles making their way
Trying to get down to the sea.
down to the ocean, and then everything picking them off. And they estimate that 1 out of 1,000 turtles.
Oh really? Is that the survival rate?
1 out of 1,000
Wow.
will survive. So you've seen a lot of turtle sanctuaries around the world now, where they are taking these eggs, they are hatching the turtles, and then they're putting them back on the beach that they were found, because it's not totally true that the turtles will always return to the beach they hatched on, but generally that's where they would come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, moving on now to.
No, I'm still busy.
Oh,
with
there's
it.
more?
Yes,
There's more
yes,
turtle
yes,
talk.
Yes.
All right, I just keep quiet and you talk turtle. As
Well-
long as you don't talk turkey, it's good.
I wanted so a common mistake with divers that we see is they confuse turtles. So the two that are most commonly confused is the hawksbill turtle and the green turtle. So they're quite similar in look. I've given you a photo of each one. So the hawksbill turtle, the green turtle can be similar in size,
Yeah.
although generally the green grow bigger. But they look quite similar. So there's a few distinctive marks you can look for if you see a turtle underwater, because often a turtle will get a bit of algae on its shell
And they get green.
and it gets green.
Ah.
So you go, oh, it's a green turtle.
Okay, and
But-
it's just an algae turtle.
But it was a dirty hawksbill.
Or an elderly algae turtle.
Yeah. So a couple of ways to tell the difference between green turtle and hawksbill turtle is, number one, if you look at the mouth of the hawksbill turtle, it actually looks more like a beak. That often tells it apart. But
Okay.
if you're still unsure, if you can get close enough, their front flippers, they have nails on them. They use that to hold on to
Oh, wow.
to anchor them into the coral where they're sleeping or eating. And the hawksbill turtle has got 2 nails on its front flippers, and as opposed to the green, it's only got 1.
One.
So if you have a look along the edge of the flippers, you'll see a nail. It's very prevalent. And the green turtle only has 1, hawksbill 2.
Got it.
Then its shell, the hawksbill turtle has the segments seem to overlap each other, as opposed to the green turtle where it's smooth. They run into each other. So if you see the two along side by side, you know what I mean. And one last thing, the hawksbill turtle has got the back of the shell towards the tail is serrated. It's got about a serrated edge to it.
So on screen now is the hawksbill turtle.
The last one I saw was
This
a
one here?
hawksbill turtle.
Right.
I need to put my glasses
Oh, you
on.
need to. Yeah, well, you're over 40,
Because
so
I'm trying to
it's,
see
yeah,
yours.
it's compulsory now.
That is a green turtle.
And then that one?
That is a, well, I need to see him.
Okay.
Yeah, also. I may have got it the wrong around.
Yeah,
but
I think
can't-
so.
I can't
All right,
see
so that's the
screen.
green one. That's the hawksbill if you're
That's
watching
correct.
right now.
That's correct.
Okay. Is that turtles done?
Yeah, that's turtles done. I mean, we can go on for a long time
I'm sure.
about turtles, but the best thing to do is get in the ocean and go see them. They're amazing creatures.
Right, let's talk about fish now. When we were talking to
Ooh.
Tanya Kuri, who puts
Yes.
the 4x4 show together and is increasingly becoming more active in dive time, she said, you know, Greg, people want to know about fish.
Yes.
And I was like, what? Yes.
Yeah.
And she started with, can you talk about, I don't know, yeah, angelfish or something? And you went, hold on, let's start with fish groups.
Yeah, well,
Or fish ID. Is that what you said? Fish ID.
Yeah, Tanya said she wants to learn more about the fish that they see, and this
Yeah.
is a common thing with divers. Is we dive, we see very pretty fish, we come up, we grab the books, and then we try to identify them. But we were trying to remember spots, stripes, shape, and it doesn't help. So you actually have to learn the fish families before you can start identifying individual fish.
Okay.
And you know, this was a light bulb moment for me many years ago. Actually, Dad and I were in Aliwal Shoal, and we were at a lodge owned by John Matambu. So John Matambu down in Sedona Bay. Hello.
How's it, John?
Although he's more into fishing now than diving.
Big bad John.
So and he taught me a very basic lesson about fish identification, and that changed the way I saw fish from there. So I'm going to start tonight with one fish family, and Tom, don't put the picture up yet.
Okay.
I'm going to describe the fish. So
All right.
for those who are listening on radio, I'm going to describe the fish, and then on Facebook we're going to set up a series of photos. Okay.
All right.
So when you want to identify fish, you need to first look at the fish family, and then those fish families, there could be hundreds and hundreds of fish within that family. So we're going to talk about the butterfly fish. So am I on camera now?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a signal for underwater, yeah, for butterfly fish. So if we want to talk underwater, we're going to say that, okay? And
And
those,
that's just you making your hands look like they're
like a
butterfly.
like a
wings.
flutterby. Yeah. So for those divers that know what a butterfly fish is, sorry, we're going to go a bit basic here.
Yeah.
So we look at shape, all right? So a butterfly fish, we call it dinner plate shape. It's round, relatively round. No, not necessarily round, but close to round. All right, and then one of the distinctive features of a butterfly fish is almost always is a stripe down its eye. So
Oh, really?
a stripe that runs from the top of it and it covers its eye and further down. Some fish have masks on their faces, so you need to tell the difference. But
Mhm.
I've picked out some photos that show the stripe down its eye. So you can.
If
go-
you look at Facebook now, you'll see what Greg's talking
Yeah.
about, and if you're listening to the radio, Greg will continue to describe.
So go ahead and show. So what you see, there's a dinner plate shaped fish, a round shaped fish with a stripe down the eye. Some butterfly fish will have a fake eye somewhere around the dorsal fin or the back of the fish as well. And then these fish are as small as a 50-cent piece and as large as a dinner plate.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
anywhere in between. Vertical stripes, horizontal stripes, many different colors. You get ones that have got a long nose butterfly fish or so on. But
Mhm.
what they all have in common is their shape. They're relatively round.
And the stripe over the eye.
And a stripe down the eye. And then you've got a butterfly fish. And
They're
and
very pretty.
they are extremely pretty. They're found on all reefs. So tropical, subtropical, you get them everywhere. And there are hundreds and hundreds of species of butterfly fish. So some are very common and some are very rare. But from all the photos I showed you, you'll see each one of them, that stripe to the eye, dinner plate shape.
And are they common in South Africa, off the South African coastline?
Absolutely very common, yeah.
Great. And how are they doing in terms of...
No, the butterfly fish are herbivores. You know, they thrive in coral areas. So if the coral's healthy, you're going to find a lot of butterfly fish.
Got a lot of action happening in the comments section, and good evening to you if you've joined us on Facebook Live on the various platforms we're broadcasting through this evening. I'll name them for you. Bass Lake, look for us broadcasting, and thank you to Alan and Karen for the partnership with Bass Lake on the broadcast this evening. You can go to Bass Lake by visiting basslake.co.za. It's that simple, basslake.co.za. While we're thanking people for the show, I would also like to thank the Mobile Warehouse, Carsten in particular, at the Mobile Warehouse, who has sponsored the gear on the show. And you can visit themobilewarehouse.co.za to purchase your SMS data as well as electricity. They've got a good deal going, themobilewarehouse.co.za. And now, turning to the page and what you're saying, there's a bit of conversation taking place this evening. It's good to see, and that's what the comment section's for, is to get the conversations going. What are you seeing?
Well, so I'm just in on one comment here, Russ Opland.
Yeah.
So I've noticed a number of posts this week by Russ. He seems to be getting quite active on Facebook. And Russ, I apologize if I'm wrong, but a NAUI instructor.
Okay.
And I've seen quite a few posts, and we want to encourage that. So, guys, if you want us to punt you on the show and you'd like to put us there, firstly share, because we ask for something back. But Russ is an instructor, and he's saying they specialize in private lessons at home, school, extramurals, all levels right up to instructors. So, yeah, I'm not sure on Russ's area, but...
The Rudaport area, and you can check out Russ Opland, that's R-U-S-S, Russ, and Opland is O-P-L-A-N-D, Russ Opland Professional Scuba Services on Facebook. We're going to help everyone we can in the industry as we go along. We're not affiliated to anybody, and we want to promote everybody that we can in your services, and so reach out to us and we'll give you as much promotion as we can free of charge. And if we start charging, it will be at ridiculously low rates, like 99 Rand a minute or something silly like that. Okay. What else is next? Russ says thanks for the mention. Anytime, Russ, and perhaps you'll come into the studio one night and join us on the Dive Time show. Next up in is a NAUI instructor trainer. Lance Shadan watching. Good evening to you, Lance. And I repeat my brother Greg's plea or request or comment. If you enjoy the show, you know someone that you think would enjoy it, a passionate scuba diver like you, tell them about it or tag them and let them in on the action. So, Courtney leaves the studio for a second or two. Bye, Courtney. All right, she's going off to practice names. And we're joined by someone I've known for years, and Greg's known for even longer. It's JC, a master shark diver at Shark Life. And I've got no idea what that means, and I'm relying on you, Oaks, to tell me. So, JC, no stranger to the broadcast scene. He spends a lot of his time filming things and working in television, but now you're in a radio studio. How does it feel?
It feels pretty good.
Feel all right?
Yeah.
So you've gone from television producer to radio star in 5 heartbeats.
Not a television
You-
producer,
you know
not a
him.
television cameraman.
No, let me talk you up. I do that to everyone.
Well, Margarita, JC's wife, did warn us that once he starts talking, he's
Yes.
not going to stop.
Oh,
So,
he's very, it doesn't look like it at the moment, but I know that Margarita's right.
All
So,
right.
JC, welcome. You're one of the first dive community members that we've said come on into the studio. And I know that Greg wants to have a fat chat with you about Aliwal, I think it is. So, why don't the two of you have a convo and I will listen in?
yeah, so we go back quite a while. We've been diving together. I can't remember which courses I taught you or so on. But JC is someone that I know gets to the ocean as often as possible.
Okay.
You know, maybe monthly, maybe bi-monthly, and so on. So when I was having coffee with JC the other day, he's like, "Oh, I've got to show you a video about Aliwal Shoal." So I did spot you a video of.
Great, and we'll play that in the
Shoal.
background.
And JC loves to film videos. So underwater photography, underwater videography is probably taken up on a lot of other people. So GoPros, what do you shoot?
Well, I used to get a little bit stuff.
Water again.
Now that I've got the Nikon, I'm going to just test it and see if it's going to also work. It's just it's going to see a little bit smoke, but it's good quality pictures. And
You had a GoPro. I remember Jason's one of the first people I knew who bought a GoPro. And he took it underwater, but GoPro had different housings. And one housing had cutouts in the back of it so you could get sound. And JC tested that one in the water.
Oh no, that was the end of the camera.
Yeah.
You've drowned the GoPro.
I drowned the GoPro, but actually it was in a nice Sunday morning dive at the little shoal, and there's quite a number of nice fish and nice things. So all of a sudden water got into the GoPro because I had the dive housing before worked very well. So I thought I might change it and not noticing that it was a skeleton one with a little hole in, and the water got in, and there you go. So
And here's a shout out to GoPro who replaced this for you.
oh,
Yeah.
GoPro replaced it for
Nice.
one price at all. It was still on the guarantee, and yeah.
Well, let's talk about Aliwal now.
Yeah, that's why we're here. So, Aliwal is one of my favourite dive destinations, and I'd say in the world. If you get it on a good day, it is truly the best. What's your favourite area of that dive?
Well, the Raggy Cave is one of the favourite areas where you go down and you check quite a few sharks in the Raggy Cave. There's also
So Raggy is a slang term for ragged-toothed sharks.
Ragged-toothed shark.
Yeah.
shark,
Yeah,
yes.
they're known as sand tiger sharks or
Sand tiger
grey
shark,
nurse
nurse
sharks.
shark,
Yeah.
grey nurse shark, yeah.
That's it. And then I know JC also goes to Sudwana a lot, and we've done quite a few dives with Shark Life.
Yes. I
So
am
much like Grant.
Yeah, I'm a member of Shark Life and a master shark diver with Shark Life. And yeah, there's quite a cool courses that Grant is offering at the moment with an internship that is with Shark. If you want to go there at www.sharklife.co.za, you can see a lot of courses that are running with Shark Life. You can become a member. You don't have to really be a diver to go and learn about the sharks, but you can learn about sharks through Shark Life. And yeah, you can go get quite a knowledge of sharks that you would like to know about. If you want to become a master shark diver, well then you have to have 25 log dives with different shark species that you have seen. And yeah, and also maybe you would also like to go free diving with Shark Life, then you can contact Grant Smith or also at www.sharklife.co.za.
You sound like you're planting Shark Life. Eh?
Yeah,
No,
I
really,
like
you
We have a
have a-
passionate Shark Life member
Yes.
here.
No,
Yeah.
yes, no. Whenever I see JC, we talk about that at length. So Grant down in Sudwana Bay with Shark Life, he does phenomenal courses down there. But let's get back to Aliwal.
Okay.
Okay, so the Aliwal Shoal, that's a shoal south of Durban,
Yes.
of
Unkomaas.
Scottsboro, yeah, and dived mostly out of Unkomaas, but as well out of Scottsboro and Rocky Bay. You can get there. It's a long boat ride. Tell us about the boat launch, the boat rides out there.
Well, there's different times of the weather. You see, Unkomaas is different weather changes, and launches, you can launch at the lagoon when the weather's nice. Then you can see the water come up with the lagoon, and from the lagoon you launch to the beach through to the sea. But sometimes the lagoon doesn't have much water, so you have to launch from the beach. So quite a few weather changes. It's a very good dive site to go to, with a lot of sharks and everything that you like to dive, and good boat launches that are there, and dive centers that you can get in contact with. Alville Shoals Scuba, Alville Dive Center, Ocean Basket.
Blue Ocean.
Now that's one I'm
Scuba
familiar
Cove.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah, so LOL again is an experience. It's not just a dive. It's a small town that's kind of like missed by everything else. So on the north of it you got Toti, on the south you've got Scottsboro, but in the middle of this is a little town called Unkumaz, and it's a diving town, and so you'll find a lot of people walking there with bare feet from 4 o'clock in the morning to get out, get the boats ready, get out and dive. And there's a couple of really great restaurants and bars and so on that you can sit after the dive and have a breakfast and talk about the dives. So it's a truly amazing place. It's one of those gems. You've got to watch your weather. You've got to get it on a good day. But if you get it on a good day, you'll keep going.
When's the best time of the year to go?
Tom, that's hard to say. January, February, you get December, January, February, you get incredible conditions with big visibility. But a lot of it is then based around what you're going to see at that time of the year. Like JC keeps saying, the sharks down there. So the Ragged sharks are there in the winter, where they come up to mate, the males and the females. So after the sardine run, the male and female Raggies congregate on the Alville Shoal. They mate, and then they split up. The males go back down south, and the females go to warmer water to gestate. So that's June, July, August, September. You're guaranteed to see them if that's what you want to see. If you haven't dived with the sharks before, that's like the easy one in.
Dave Ravenstone, the show's producer, is busy asking people in the chat room, and the chat room being the comment section underneath the live Facebook video. If you're listening on the radio and you're wondering what are we talking about video, well, we're on video too, and you can come take a seat at the radio table with us at Radio Today by going to Facebook and just going over to Radio Today's Facebook page. Have a look at the live broadcast. Go to Bass Lake and look there. We're broadcasting via Bass Lake tonight. Thank you to Alan and Karen of Bass Lake for that. And you can look at the Tom London page. You can go along to Dive Time, and that's the home of the Dive Time show, is the Dive Time Facebook page. Like us, make friends with us, and become active in the Dive Time. We're not dictating the terms here. This is something that the industry and the community and passionate divers will lead. And so if you're a passionate diver, we invite you to become part of this Facebook community, and in fact a diving family. And give us your suggestions and send us your photographs and any input and questions that you've got will be greatly appreciated. And you can pop them into the comment section during the broadcast or after a broadcast. And of course we appreciate any shares. So if you have any friends in the diving community, you can tell about Dive Time. Tell them, nothing better than word of mouth, or tag someone on a post, or share the video if you enjoyed it. Now, are we almost done?
I don't
We're
know.
going to do gear review.
I've
You're going
lost
to teach
time.
us how to put masks
I've
on.
lost track of time. So,
Right, so let's do our gear review now, and Greg's going to teach us how to put masks.
you can stay here, JC.
Stay with us.
Yeah.
Who's our model, by the way?
Dagan.
Dagan will be our model. Okay,
All right. So back to the show. We're trying to find a format that you guys will enjoy listening to,
Yeah.
and we have to. See that we've got people that are going to be listening to the show that have never dived before, that want to dive, and then we're going to have divers that have done more dives than me. And so you may find some parts a little bit basic. We open to your suggestions of what you'd like. So, but this is something that I learned years ago about mask and how to fit a mask.
Okay.
You go into a lot of places. You say, well, this mask fit me. That they say put it on your face and breathe in hard through your nose, and any mask would actually fit you in that way.
All right.
You're not going to get a good fitting mask. So there is a technique to see if a mask fits, and obviously the reason why we want good fit on masks is you don't have water leaking in, so you can have a dive where you don't have to worry about water getting into your mask. So I'm going to take my headphones off.
Sure.
How am I going to do this?
It's all right. Just pop them off to the side or on your lap. It's good.
All right. So I don't know, Courtney, do you want to talk with you? Who's got the microphone? Well, I'll talk.
Who's
you
going to
through it.
end up talking like this through the mask?
Okay. So the first thing you do is actually a bit of a strange angle. You're going to look straight up, Dagan. Straight in there. Get your hair out of the way.
Okay, step forward just a step if you can, so
Come
we
on
can
forward.
see you a little better on the Facebook feed. And Greg, you can describe the actions.
So we're going to have Dagan look straight up in the air, and then we're going to place the mask with the strap out the way on his forehead, on his face, over his nose, over his nose.
And he's got to get his blonde fringe out the way.
fringe out the way.
Yeah.
And then what you got to do is you got to look around the entire sill of the mask and see that it's sealed, it's touched. So without breathing in, we're looking to see that there's no gaps of air. Right. Now if you don't see too many gaps of air, now you can breathe in gently and then look forward. Hold your hands below in case you drop it. Look forward and maybe not a good fit. Okay, so let's switch to the second mask we've got here.
Okay.
And
So just your breathing in should hold the mask
should hold the mask
onto your face without the straps being on.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So again, put the mask on, have a good look around. It's difficult if you're shorter than the person who's trying
Yeah.
the mask on. But have a look around. That seems like a good fit.
Okay.
Breathe in gently, look forward.
And it's still on him.
And it's on.
Ta-ta-ta-ta, buy that mask and punch your girlfriend in the face. Just by mistake.
All right, and then the other thing is we've got two different masks here. Courtney, you haven't washed them since you dived. But you get a clear cell and you get a dark cell. So we get a lot of people that say,
Yeah.
I'm claustrophobic, I don't want to dive. And
Yes.
Claustrophobia doesn't really come into diving because you're in open spaces. But if it is something you're concerned about, go for a clear cell mask, so it's clear through, and that's a lot easier than something that's got a dark cell on it.
Got it. Wow.
Thanks, Dagan.
Okay, we're getting people joining from all over the world. To see Eric Lundberg is joining us out of Sweden. He's a
Sweden.
passionate diver. There's a lot of conversation taking place now. People talking about their shark dives and who has dived with sharks and who hasn't. Jaco Swanepoel says, I have. It's an amazing, amazing experience. What is so amazing about a shark dive, JC?
Well, what is amazing about a shark dive is that sharks are very calm creatures under the water. And especially when you dive in clear water, there's no threat to sharks in clear water. Only when the water is dirty, there's a threat to them. They feel afraid and they feel a little bit threatened. So it's nice, and if you dive under the water with the sharks, there's no threat to them. It's just they are afraid of the bubbles a lot. So please, if you do blow bubbles on the water, blow nice and gently and don't make too much noise.
Okay.
Well, we want you.
Well,
we
I'll
want you
remember
blowing
that
bubbles
when I'm
first.
underwater.
Now holding your breath.
With
Nice
gentle
holding your
bubbles.
breath, with gentle bubbles, yes.
Yes,
Slowly.
I see Darby from Pretoria.
Yeah.
In the room from Gecko Divers. I think maybe we're going to do a drive out to Pretoria next week. Hey guys?
Okay.
Yeah, let's go shark attack.
Oh, you run out
Yeah.
of things to say.
Well, I'm
So
not-
here's my question, right?
Yeah.
How many people that scuba dive have dived with sharks? Is it most divers, or do you know? Have you got a feel for the percentage?
Tom, I'd say I'm going to guess the percentage is quite low. Depends where in the world you are. You know, I think my first 100 dives I did off our coast, I didn't see a single shark. So you really got to go look for them. You know,
It's like seeing wild dogs in the Kruger Park.
yeah, or lion
Okay.
maybe. Yeah. So it depends where you are. You're going to have places you're going to dive. You're not going to see a single shark ever, and you're going to have others where you're going to see everything. But it really is, if you want to see them, you go there. So
Okay.
I know it is a topic that might scare a lot of new divers. So I don't want to harp on too much about it. But you got to remember there's so much under the water to see.
We've got a message from Susan DeSantos. Good evening, everyone. Just want to say thank you so much for this fantastic show and greetings from Switzerland. So we're reaching scuba divers and passionate divers all over the world tonight, and whether you're in South Africa or watching from outside of our shores, thank you for watching Dive Time. Each week we'll feature a local destination, so if you're a viewer from outside of South Africa, we'll introduce you to the beautiful coastline and diving sites in South Africa, but we won't forget the rest of the world, and every week we feature a world destination. It could be one of your places. I don't know if Switzerland's got any scuba diving. That's a
I
good
think
question.
Switzerland's-
Yeah.
Well,
In the lakes?
Yeah, well,
Possibly?
Yeah, lakes and rivers. I've seen
Okay.
incredible photos of the diving in the rivers. Truly amazing.
And I'd just like to echo what Dagan says. Thank you for joining us. We always appreciate your support from so far away. Nice one. Dagan put that down there, and Courtney's fighting him over credits because she said she wrote it on his paper. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
But the sentiment is good, and we continue to express that. Thank you for joining us on Dive Time. We're going to improve the show week by week. That's our objective, to grow this online community.
We want you to come dive. So if you're a diver that hasn't dived for a while, come dive. If you've been thinking about diving, and what we hear very often is, I've always wanted to do this. Just the advice is just do it. Pick a dive store, pick a dive instructor,
And go for it.
and just do it. You will not regret it.
Alrighty, I think that's it for Dive Time show number 3. Thank you to all the people who made it possible, the Mobile Warehouse, Bass Lake. Thank you to Alan and Karen. We thank our contributors. Dave was involved tonight. We had Dan last week, and we'll probably have Dan again quite soon.
I hope so.
And as Greg said, please, if you're a scuba diver, get involved. Like the page, put your comments in, send questions. If you want to see something, if you've got a question you want to ask, if there's a section that you think should be in the show, this is your show. Just go along to the Facebook page, Dive Time, and either send us a message via Messenger or pop a question in the comment section, or just say hello. We like to make friends. So thank you everybody on Facebook, and thank you to you as you've been watching tonight. Hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you to JC, our special guest and passionate diver in the studio this evening. And then of course our 2 teenagers. Why must I be a teenager in love? Courtney and Dagan. And Margarita was sitting very nice. Margarita, come into the shot. You've been so quiet and said you can just shout hello and everyone will hear you and see you. There's
Hello,
JC's
everybody.
better half, and of course my brother Greg Holmes, the Paddy course director. Yeah? I think I've called you a number of titles tonight, but I think that's the right one. Okay, well thanks everybody, and we'll catch you again next Monday, 7:10 Central Africa time on the various platforms. You can listen in to the Dive Time show on DSTV channel 869 at 7:10 on a Monday night. You can tune in via the TuneIn audio stream. Just go to the TuneIn app and look for Radio Today Johannesburg. You can listen to us free of charge on medium wave in Gauteng on 1485 medium wave, or join us on the Facebook broadcast while we live, or jump in after the fact. Of course, we appreciate a share, so if you enjoyed the program, share it, tell your friends. If you didn't, don't tell anybody, tell us. And until next week, 10:07 is when we'll catch you again. Thank you. Enjoyed the conversation in the comments section.
10 minutes past 7.
7:10. What did I say? 10:10.
7 past 10.
It's getting late now, man. Yeah, the dyslexia is kicking in. Okay, cheers to our Facebook viewers.